we go. Okay. Now I just tuned up, so I should be nicely in tune. Yes, and I am. So we're going to play a nice G major scale in 2 octaves. We'll do some arpeggios afterwards, and then maybe we'll do some double stops. Adam, did I send you the double stops? The double stop music.
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to send it to you now because it's really good practice. And I think you're at the point where you can play double stops, right?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so.
Maybe not well, but I can play them.
They're hard, and they're very, very good to practice, especially for this music.
Yeah, fair.
Double stops. Now, my question student, Keith, his question today was harmony. What is harmony? How does it work? And why do you do it? And it was really interesting. And so we looked at the different harmonies and the different setups that you can do with 2 notes or even more at a time. But on the fiddle, all we can do is 2. G major. Okay, let's see here. G major. Oh, come on now. Scales and everything. G major. I know I got it here somewhere. Just sent them to. Oh, I know what to do. I will forward. You know, I just panic with this stuff, computer stuff. Here, I'm going to send you all. This is. Let me see here. So I'm going to send you this. This is the G major, and I'll also send you D major. Okay, how do I? Here we go. Forward. Okay, that's G. Here's D. Okay. And yeah, that's good. G and D. That'll do for now. Anyway, so I just sent you those, Adam, so you can see what we're doing. But it's basically when you start
Thank
doing
you.
double, yeah, no problem. When you start doing double stops on the fiddle, it's best to start with the arpeggio notes because any 2 of the arpeggio notes can be played at the same time and it's harmonious, right? Every time. So the double stop pattern I sent you basically is just playing the arpeggio, but with kind of like the next note of the arpeggio along with the one you're playing. So it's kind of a very simplified version. But anyway, so let's do the G major scale, best one we've ever done, and then we'll go on to the arpeggios. Yeah, it's good. Fiddle's in tune. Thank God. Okay, here we go. G major. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, arpeggio, ready, go. feeling about that? Did it go pretty good? Adam, I'm looking at your bow hold. It looks really good. I just noticed it was in the corner of your screen there. Good first finger, good second
Oh,
finger.
excellent. Thank you.
Pinky looks good. Looks good. Okay, let's do that again right
Excellent.
away.
Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, go. Arpeggio. Oh, I did really good that time. First time I was a tiny bit flat, but I think my E string's actually a little flat. Whoa. Starting to get a little squawky. No, not bad. Okay, so now let's take a look at those double stops. So let's see, what bowing pattern should we do today? Let's do this one here. See, that's where we're going to go down, up, up. And that'll do well for Tur Dum De La. It'll give me your hand because that's the bowing pattern for that. So let's give that a try. On each set of double stops, we'll go down, up, up. Okay? Ready? Go. Okay, now when I was doing that, I had a lot of attention to this here for when I stopped and started. So you're going along and you stop and you let that momentum kind of get absorbed a little bit and then you start again. See, that's kind of like a jellyfish, eh? And if you don't do that, then it's going to bump on you. It's going to squawk on you. It's going to have a little sound when you stop the bow, which is what we're trying to avoid. Or when you start the bow, okay? How did you guys get along with that? Does it sound pretty good or a bit noisy? A little bit. Let's do it again. Let's just do it again right away. And I'm going to try to come to a complete stop between each note. And I encourage you to too, okay? It's hard to do. Ready? Go. Oh, I did good. It's so hard to come to that complete stop. You just have this idea, you just want to get going. Now, how did you guys do with that? Were you able to stop your bow every time successfully? A bit? Let's do one more workout on the double stops. Let's do this one. I'm going to do that feather bowing. Okay, so down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, on each one. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my god, that is like when you're really concentrating on that, it is really difficult, but a very good exercise. Now, I did pretty good. I only had a few little squawky scratches happening there, not too many, but it's very, very good for your hand to do that. How did you guys get along? Was it okay? A little challenging, I know. Now, one thing to remember is when you're doing this here, is to make sure that your hand is not too close to the strings, okay, or too far away. But more likely, it would be too close, and that's when you get this. See that? So if you lengthen it a little bit, so it's just kind of brushing, you should get it the right purchase on the string. So I call it Tarzan's rope. If Tarzan's rope is too long, his feet hit the ground. If it's too short, he skims the grass. Okay, so you want to get just the right amount of rope so you can kind of swing it, and it's going to have a decent sound. Let's try one more round of those double stops, then we'll get to the slow air. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, go. Now I did pretty good there, but I still had a few of these here. So I went to the E string, for instance, and it went like this. No, it didn't go like that. It went like this. You hear that little, you know? So it's the E string is the most difficult to get that right away, that sound right away. But very good to practice. Okay. Okay. Tur dum da la. Give me your hand. Where is it? There's so much music on my desktop right now. My little girl gives me a hard time about it. She also seems to give me a hard time. I'm learning all these things about being young. And apparently if you have too many tabs open on your screen, it's just a faux pas. I'm guilty of very often, apparently. Where is this Tur dum da la?
Yeah, it's always funny helping older people on their phones or whatever, and you open the tab and it's like 50,000 tabs from forever. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm bad. I don't know what to say. I have no excuse for myself. Okay, where is
that's great.
it? She's always telling me stuff that it's just like, and it's funny because if I use certain words, I do it on purpose. Riz, for instance, and she just can't handle that. You can't say that.
Hey,
You
it's your job. You're the dad.
Of course, I have to shock and upset at every turn. When I was a kid, my dad was a car dealer in Sydney, and he had a persona called Tokyo Lloyd because in 1960, I think it was 69, Nissan, corporate office said that he sold so many cars that they invited him to Japan, and so he went. I think it was 67. He went to Japan, and first of all, he said he starved because this is a meat and potatoes guy. So he just couldn't eat anything. But he was a smoker at the time, heavy smoker. And he said they constantly gave him a pack of smokes anytime they saw that he was getting low, and constantly filled up his glass of Coke. So that's what he got by on the whole time. But they brought him into the main office, and the president of Nissan gave him a kimono and a headband and a samurai, which they do to all the dealers, you know. And so the dealers, the rest of them would take it home and put it up on the wall in the boardroom, but not Dad. Dad donned the kimono and the headband and the samurai and became Tokyo Lloyd for years, for like 25 years or something. He made all these commercials where and he got in trouble for doing fake Japanese. And so it was kind of embarrassing. I never minded. I didn't care. I was too little, I guess. But my sisters were pretty embarrassed, except for one time when he threw a party for Sandy's birthday. And he tricked her. It was a surprise party, and he tricked her. And because we lived way out in the woods, and sure enough, she goes down the stairs, and all of her friends are there, and it was really great, you know. And then about halfway through the night, who comes down the stairs but Tokyo Lloyd? Oh yeah, important job. Okay, turn down the law. Let's give it a try. Now let's try it twice. I know it's a long one, but it's worth it. It's a nice tune. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. gotta say, every time I hit that high B, it was a little bit sharp, and I had to fix it every time. And I was really surprised about the second time because I thought I had sussed it out, but it was still a little bit sharp. So let's play the high B. Let's see if we can listen to it. Here it is in tune. See if you can match that. Excuse me. See if you can match that. Now, in my ear, that's flat. For some reason, I feel like that's flat, but it's not. It's in tune. So I have to make note of that. I'm not looking for that big bright sound for this note, because it's when it's in tune, it does not have that. Which makes sense because it's a B. A B is not a note that speaks on the fiddle. So anyway, let's try that again. One more B. Okay, I'm going to do better next time. Now, is there anything you guys are having trouble with this tune? It's very simple. Any trouble? Not really, eh? It's a pretty simple tune. Let's try it again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Do it again. That's lovely. What a great tune. I just want to see exactly when it was around. I did know the other day, and I can't remember. So I think it's medieval music.
I don't know. The sheet music says 25. Maybe this year.
Now, it looks like it says 1580. Wow, so it's medieval music. That's pretty crazy. Medieval going into the modern, because he died 1653. Very interesting. Oh, and it's we know about him because of anecdotes by another harper. But it's all the people talked about him in 1840. So yeah, medieval music, unbelievable. Imagine what it sounded like back then. One big thing about the old days that people don't realize is that the instruments were almost never in tune, not even close, because they had no standards. They didn't have a tuning fork or anything like that. So they would just try to get it to the right tension and sound and kind of tune from there. So it could have been played in any key.
How
Anyway, cool.
spoiled are
Okay.
we?
Yeah, it's wild. It's just to think about that itself. Sometimes I love to look at the pictures of the old musicians from back in the day and see what they're using to play with, because everything was so rudimentary. Like I always point out this picture here. This is the Cape Breton Scottish collection, and these two fiddle players here, if you look at it really close, just take a look at how, I don't know if you can see that. Take a look at how tight their bows are. I don't know if you can really see it. But unbelievably tight bows, like to the point where you could shoot arrows with them. And I don't know, it was probably hard to get a rehair back in the late 1800s. Well, it wasn't as if you could just kind of ride up the street and get one. So they probably had to make do with that. And just imagine trying to play with bows like that. It would be very difficult. You're up against a lot. Anyway, I'm always thinking about that type of thing.
That's crazy.
Okay. Now, let's leave Tur Down to Law. We're going to take a look at, let's start with The Maid Behind the Bar. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. King James. King James was a fan of this Rory, this harper. His performance so delighted the royal circle that King James the First familiarly laid his royal hand on the harper's shoulder. Wow. When asked by one of the courtiers if he realized the honor was thus conferred to him, the consternation, Rory replied, "A greater than King James has laid his hand on my shoulder." "And who is that man?" said the king. "O'Neill, sire." I love it. Okay, Maid Behind the Bar. Now, we've done this a little bit. Have you done this, Adam? You might not have.
Just knowing that you played it last week, a couple minutes before today, I gave it a swing.
Oh, how'd it go?
Went okay. Yeah, seems okay.
That's It's not really hard, but it's just got a few challenges. Now, the one thing about the Maid Behind the Bar is that it's a very standard setup for a tune. So it's straight up first, almost. The second part's a little different. Yeah, so the second part is first phrase, second phrase, third phrase, and then the ending is the same as it is in the first part. So let's see. So let's just get it in chunks to start off with. So let's play the first. Let me play the tune first while you're looking at it. take the first couple of bars, which is the main theme. Let's just do that. Now let's forget about the pickup for now, okay? We're just going to start on beat 1, which is an F sharp. Okay?
Okay, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I have a one here that's from the session, right? Is that the one you're using?
No, I can look on the session
There's
though.
no pickup on this one.
Oh yeah? Okay, well that's fine. We don't need the pickup. But let me look at the session because make sure we're on the same page. Do you know which one on the session? I can't imagine how many there are. Okay, the barmaid. Is it just the first one? 19 versions. Do you think it's the first one, Elaine? Oh, you're still muted. Let me see here. Oh, it does look like it. Yeah, that's the one. So it's the very first one on the session.org.
Okay.
Now let me just make sure. Good. Yep, that's perfect. It's a great version. Anyway, so let's take those first 2 bars, starting on the F sharp. We'll go very slow. Ooh, very good F sharp, Elaine. I'm going to mute you though. There. I got you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, slow. And those last 3 notes are basically a pickup for the next phrase. I would say the first phrase ends on the A. Okay, let's try it again. First phrase. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, one more time to be sure. Ready, go. Okay, that's the main theme. Now the next phrase, which is kind of I think it's an E minor chord. No, B minor chord. So we go F to B. So you put the first finger on the E string and the A string at the same time. Okay, and you're going to go E1 over to A1. And then again. Really handy move. Let's do it again. Ready, go. One more time. It's a tricky one. Ready, go. Okay. Now, the next phrase is exactly the same as the first phrase, but let's give it a go anyway. So that's the first 2 bars of the second line. Ready, go. And then the last 2 bars are very similar to the 2 bars above, but slightly different. So I'll show you what it sounds like. It goes down to the ending. So let's try that. The last 2 bars, the second line. 1, 2, 3, E1. again, same thing. Ready, go. Last time, just to be sure. Ready, go. That's the last phrase. Now, in this particular tune, like many tunes, the ending is actually the most repeated phrase. Because by the time you play the tune one time, you will have played that ending 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay? So it's good to get it really, really good. Now, let's see if we can go right from one end to the other of this tune. One, two, three, go. Again. All right, now how did all that go, all those eighth notes? Is it working out? Good. Okay, let's do it again a tiny little bit faster and just take the grinder to it a little bit, make sure we have it really good. Let's do it a grand total of, say, 3 times. A little bit faster, so kind of like this. Just a hustle, a little hustle. 1, 2, 3, go. One more time. How's that going? Oh, you're going on there, Adam. Yes, excellent. Good pinky work. Okay, so now that's the first part. Let's do the second part now. Let's do the first now. You can see there's lots of repetition, but like I said, it's not straight up repetition. So let's take a careful look at
Can
it.
I ask a quick question, Dan, before we go on?
Of course.
In returning and starting again, what do you use to transition the bowl?
What would you use, Elaine?
D. E.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just like that. And 9 times out of 10, that's what you're doing. You're scaling back up to it or
Okay.
scaling back down to it. Now, in this case, I would probably play two Ds.
Okay.
So I would play a quarter note D and then an eighth
Right.
note D and an eighth note E.
Okay.
See what I mean? Or just a long D. I do both.
Right.
But you
Okay.
might get along good with the two Ds because that really turns your bow around and you do your up and you're good to go.
Okay.
And you're used to doing the up, so that might work out for you.
Okay.
All right, second part, first two bars. Now, we were talking about in the first part, we had the first finger down on two strings. So now it's going to be the third finger down on two strings to get through that string changing bit. See that? So that's how I do that. But anyway, let's give it a try. Slow. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's do that again. It's a hard bit. Ready? Go. One more time. Ready? Go. Okay, good. Now let's do this little scale up part here, the next two bars. It's really hard to keep the G in tune when you're reaching for the B. Ready? Go. Oh, whoops. I screwed up the end bit. Let's try it again. Ready? Go. That's a serious pickup note there, that G. Let's do it again, scaling up to the B. And try to remember about the B. Don't worry about it. Let it belt out. Ready? Go. One more time to be sure. Ready? Go. Okay, now before we go on, let's just link together those two phrases. So let's play the third line, the whole third line. Okay, ready, 2, 3, go. Okay, good. Now, the next phrase is a little bit of a, it kind of sounds like the first phrase. Okay, let's try that. Let's try those two bars slowly. Ready, go. Okay, let's try that again. Ready, go. And that's personally my favorite lick of this tune. And I recognized it when I was in jazz school. I was listening to Charlie Parker do Angel Eyes, and his intro for it was. And right away I was like, did he get that off of Made Behind the Bar? You never know, maybe he did. Anyway, let's do it again. Same thing. Just those two bars. Ready, go. Ending. Okay, that's how that works. Now, important to point out that there's going to be an up after that long E, and there's also going to be an up after the long D. in the third line, and that's the one that everybody always misses. So that's the third bar of the third line. The E to the F is going to be an up bow. And that should say, because if you're going backwards for all that string crossing, it makes it really hard. Much harder than it needs to be. Okay, let's give her a go from the top of the B part. The whole B part. 1, 2, 3, go. One more time. Now a pickup note to get back into it. So a lot of people will just scale from the high D. So they'll play a D and an E, and then they'll be into the second part again. You see what I mean? A lot of people do that. What do I do? Yeah, that's what I do. Scale up from high D. So that changes the last bar, changes that D half note into a quarter note. And then the next 2 eighth notes would be the high D and the E. Okay, does that make sense? Again, you're just scaling up to the first note of the B part. Okay, shall we try the whole thing? Might as well. Let's give it a go from the top. One, 2, 3, go. did all that go, guys? Is it pretty good? Not bad? You having any problems there, Adam?
I'm definitely hitting some of them, and then I'm definitely missing some of them. Yeah, no, I think it's getting going in the right direction now,
Yeah,
at
do you
least.
have an idea what you might be missing? Is it consistent, or is it just kind of you got to play it 100 times?
Uh, it's the B part, the third line, like the first two bars. I think
Street crossing?
I think my brain is just sending me to the wrong notes.
Ah, yes, and it'll be a good idea for you to map out those couple of bars and see what fingers you can leave down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to that. If you look at my hand when I'm doing it, see the one really hasn't left? See how I did that? Now, so you can go and
Mm-hmm.
refer back to the video there, but that's going to be what the key to getting through that part. See how that works? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But otherwise, I understand why you're having trouble. That's a normal place to be having trouble.
Yeah.
Normal place.
Yeah. Thank you.
How about you,
Yeah.
Elaine? How you getting along?
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Not too bad? Yeah, you've done this tune before, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So this is more polishing.
Different version. A different version, though.
There
Yeah.
are so many versions of this tune. Now, when I was a kid in Cape Breton, the second part, first of all, we called it the barmaids, not the maid behind the bar.
Okay.
The second part was different, and I love it. But nobody else plays it like this, and I know that because of the dirty looks from Irish people. So here it is. So. Uh, See that? So nobody does it like that. So it must have been my family. Now that's one thing I've come to realize when I got older as an adult, that a lot of the music that my brother wrote out for us when I was a kid off of recordings didn't get exactly 100% correct. And the Irish people are quick to inform me of those situations. Anyway, let's have one more go at the maid behind the bar, and then we'll leave it and we'll put it together with the silver spear next time. One of my oldest tunes, this tune. We used to do it with a tune called the Fairy Dance, which we should get. Have you ever heard of that one, Elaine? Sandy used to do it. And then the last part you can go. And that's what me and Sandy always did. Great old tune. Written by fairies, I guess. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, guys, the maid behind the bar. We will get it better next week and a little bit faster, and we'll put it together with the other D-tune. All right? It's a good one tonight, guys. See you next week.
Yeah, bye now.
Bye.
Thanks.